Imagine driving down a quiet, forgotten country road at dusk, the kind of road where the horizon seems to go on forever, and the only sound is the gentle hum of your tires on the asphalt. Somewhere in rural England, hidden among rolling hills and dense woodlands, there's a bridge that locals only talk about in whispers. They call it the bridge where time stops. At first glance, it looks ordinary enough, an old stone structure arching gracefully over a slow, meandering river. But if you linger too long, if you dare to step onto it, you'll realize something isn't right. Something about this place defies the very flow of time itself. The modern legend begins with a man named David, a passionate photographer with a taste for the unusual. He'd heard rumors from his elderly neighbor about a bridge where clocks would stop, birds would freeze mid-flight, and the river would pause, reflecting the sky like a perfect mirror. Intrigued, David decided he had to see it for himself, hoping to capture this bizarre phenomenon on camera. He arrived just as the sun began to sink, painting the sky in streaks of orange and deep violet. The moment he laid eyes on the bridge, a strange feeling washed over him, a sense that the world had just exhaled and stopped, holding its breath. David stepped onto the bridge, and immediately, a chilling stillness surrounded him. Not a single leaf moved. Not a bird chirped. The river flowed in an eerie silence, unnaturally calm, reflecting the clouds with perfect clarity. It was beautiful, but deeply unsettling, as if he had stepped into a photograph where someone had forgotten to press play. He raised his camera and started taking pictures, but that's when things got even weirder. He noticed that each photo he took told a different story than what his eyes were seeing. In one, his own arm was frozen mid-air, a ghostly blur of motion. In another, his legs appeared to be suspended above the planks, as if gravity itself had decided to take a break. The locals say David wasn't the first to experience this. For decades, stories have circulated about travelers vanishing without a trace. One man recounted crossing the bridge and glancing back to see his car parked where he'd left it. But when he turned around to go back, the car had completely disappeared. Another tale tells of a woman who heard her own voice echoing across the river, calling her name. She turned to investigate, but no one was there. Time, it seems, just behaves differently here. Moments can stretch for hours, and hours can vanish in a heartbeat. The bridge's eerie reputation is compounded by its history. It was built in the late 1700s. It has long been a crossing point for villagers, traders, and travelers. But even before the bridge existed, locals claimed the land itself was strange. Stories from the 1600s tell of a miller who lived near the river. One foggy night, he watched figures walking backward across what would one day become the bridge, retracing their steps as if they were moving through reversed time. The miller swore he heard clocks ticking violently, then stopping altogether. He described the river as looking like liquid glass, reflecting the sky upside down, and claimed the fog itself seemed alive, shifting unnaturally around him. David's experience mirrored some of these older accounts. As he walked further onto the bridge, he felt an electric tingling in his chest. When he glanced down at the river, he noticed the reflection wasn't his own. It was a man who looked almost like him but slightly older, wearing clothes from another era. He blinked, and just like that, the reflection was gone. Panic started to grip him, but leaving the bridge proved much harder than he expected. The far end seemed to stretch on endlessly, much longer than the road that led to it, as if the bridge itself was warping reality. Over the years, many have tried to study the bridge scientifically. Some claim that minor magnetic anomalies in the area interfere with watches, compasses, and electronic devices. Others speculate that it's a time distortion hotspot. Though the phenomenon has never been fully explained or replicated, of course, psychologists argue it's all a trick of the mind that prolonged isolation, combined with the bridge's symmetry and foggy conditions, creates powerful optical illusions. But for those who have truly experienced it, it doesn't feel like an illusion. It feels dangerously real. There are even reports of people stepping onto the bridge and finding themselves in a kind of limbo. One story tells of a young couple who took a nighttime stroll across it, hand in hand. But when they looked back, the road they had just traveled was gone, replaced by a fog so thick it seemed to swallow the entire world. They checked their watches, both had stopped completely. Hours passed, or was it just minutes? They couldn't be sure. Suddenly, they found themselves back at the starting point, shaken, with no idea if any time had passed at all while they were on the bridge. Some locals go even further, claiming the bridge can show you glimpses of the past or the future. They say if you stand on it at just the right moment, you might see the reflection of someone who crossed it centuries ago. Or perhaps, you'll see yourself but not as you are now. Time, according to these accounts, becomes a mirror that can reveal moments long forgotten or those yet to come. This might explain why so many photographs taken on the bridge are so unsettling. Faint, ghostly figures often appear mid-motion, their faces blurred and unrecognizable, caught in a loop of time that refuses to let them go. So what happened to David? He never returned after that first evening. His camera was later found abandoned in the grass at the bridge's edge, its memory card missing. Some say he became one of the figures trapped in time, forever frozen somewhere between the past and the present. Others insist he simply lost his sense of direction and wandered off into the fog. Regardless, his story added another layer of fear to the bridge's already chilling legend. Even today, travelers report strange experiences. Some feel a cold spot on their necks, as if someone is breathing just behind them, but when they turn, nothing is there. Others hear whispers or faint laughter carried across the water, which disappears the moment they try to identify the source. And occasionally, if the conditions are just right, a visitor will glimpse a figure at the far end of the bridge, dressed in clothing from another century, staring at them with hollow eyes before vanishing into the fog. The bridge where time stops remains one of the most enigmatic places in England. Is it a natural anomaly, a trick of the mind, or something far more sinister? Nobody knows for sure. What is certain, however, is that if you ever find yourself on a lonely country road and see an old stone bridge shrouded in fog, you should pause before you cross. Because here, time doesn't just pass. Sometimes it waits, sometimes it watches, and sometimes it refuses to let you leave. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more mysteries. Let me know in the comments what you think is really happening at this strange bridge. Stay curious.